YouTube? It's your boy Vade, aka Pro Benchwarmer. Welcome back to another episode of Boxed Benchwarmers, a series where we discuss every incomplete archetype and duel links, their relative history within our meta, and what cards do they need to actually become competitive. Now, if you're enjoying this series, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I can't promise weekly. School has started, man. It's been ridiculous. But as you can see on your screen, through the layout, through the cards in the card catalog, we are talking about Gustos, and I want to talk about this because 5D's World has come to Duel Links, and in the recent box, the Stardust Acceleration box, we have gotten a couple synchro archetypes. We got X-Sabers, Gen X, and Gusto. Gusto showing the most promise in my opinion, but they still suck. Oh my god, I was so disappointed not seeing the Gusto cards that I wanted to see in this box, but it's understandable if later down the line Konami wants to slap us with some amazing synchro plays. But that's my opinion. Let's get into this video. Now, the Gusto cards we already got. We gotten Gustos before in a mini box and in this box, and they both just suck. And this box brought us the tuners and a synchro and some back row support in traps, but the traps are okay, you feel me? The traps are actually really good. We got Blessing of Gusto that special summons a monster from the graveyard, which is really good by shuffling two Gusto monsters back into the graveyard, and Whirlwind of Gusto specials from the deck if you have control no monsters. So this is a comeback card. Totally a comeback card, which is actually pretty okay. I can tolerate it. And this card right here, Dust Storm of Gusto, actually renders your opponent's back row useless when you get into the battle phase with your Gusto monsters, which I'll explain a combo at the end that makes this card instant GG. So this is actually pretty good. Gustos have cards to compete, but the tuners that we got are complete garbage, and the synchro we got is absolutely horrible. So the tuners we got actually missed timing. Gusto Squirrelo needs to be destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, and that has to be the last thing that happened, so that's bad. In order to special summon a level 5 or higher Gusto monster from the deck, which means you have two targets for that, Reese and Windar. Garbage, so garbage. And then Gusto, not Gusto Griffin, hello, Gusto Falco, special summon, it needs to be sent from faced up on the field to the graveyard except by battle, so by card effect, to special summon a Gusto monster in face down defense position. Why? The only good targets for that would be like Thunbolt and Kamui. That's garbage, you feel me? Like, it's just not good. They miss timing and they don't even pull off good effects. So the Gusto tuners that I think we need right here are Gusto Goldo and Gusto Ego. Gusto Gold, let's go one at a time, sorry about that. Gusto Goldo, and this card is sent from the field to the graveyard by battle, by card effect, so on so forth. You can special summon one level 2 or lower Gusto monster from your deck. Great thinning, can go to the graveyard however way it needs to be. Level 3 tuner, amazing. Then Gusto Ego, wow, mixing them up, states when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one level 4 or lower non-tuner Gusto monster from your deck. This card is great because it grabs you a level 4 Gusto monster from the deck that can continue your plays either by shuffling cards back into the deck like Calm, or you can use any level 4. Any level 4 will be great to special summon, especially the next card, which is a level 3, but it's an amazing card to special summon off Egos because of what it can do. Also, Goldo can float into Ego, which can float into the next card, which can grab you a card. It's amazing. It's amazing once you get this card. Once you get this deck up and running, it can just live through its own self. Next card right here is Pilica, Descendant of Gusto. This card, I don't even care if they put it as a UR. It totally deserves it for this deck if we get the right synchros. This card, well, UR in a mini box. This card is fantastic. It says this card is normal or special summon. You can target one wind tuner in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face up defense position. Fantastic right there. You can special summon the level 3 tuner, special summon the level 2 tuner, special summon the level 1 tuner, and you instant have synchro plays. And even when this is special summon, so you can special summon this off the level 1 tuner and grab the level 1 tuner back. Oh, dude, it's fantastic. this card is fantastic. Its effects are negated. The tuner. Its effects are negated. If you activate this effect, you cannot special summon monsters at all through your turn except for wind monsters, which means if you're going into the extra deck, the monsters have to be wind. So you can actually make Stardust Dragon with this. You can make all the Die Gustos, which are the synchros for this deck. You can make any synchro as long as it's a wind monster. This effect is fantastic. It's a hard once per turn. Clearly it was going to be a once per turn because it's such a good effect, especially with the fact that the tuners that I discussed earlier float into each other and into this. So if your opponent has 3 monsters and you just set the level 3 tuner into level 1 tuner, level 1 tuner into Pilica special summons the level 3 tuner, and you have a synchro play next turn. So that's fantastic. But what good is this? What good are the tuners if we don't have better synchros? See, the synchro monsters I want to introduce for this game are actually not that bad for Gustos. So the first one is Gusto Goldos. This card effect states, once per turn you can shuffle 2 Gusto monsters from your graveyard into the main deck and target one face-up monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Just straight up destroy it, which is fantastic because just going into this card, a level 5 wind psychic synchro, you can just use the materials that you use to get this card onto the field, send that back into the main deck and pop a monster on the field. You automatically already have 2 Gusto monsters in your graveyard if you're playing a pure Gusto build. And of course you're going to be playing a pure Gusto because it's not really generic. It says 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner, 1 or more non-tuner Gusto monsters, so you kind of don't have the luxury of having make this a generic card, but it's pretty good in Gustos. It's actually really good in Gustos. 2200 body is great. It's not that great since 2800 seems to be the benchmark with Wiz's defense, and I believe Master Hero Anki is 2800 as well. So 2800 seems to be the benchmark for being the boss monster in a deck. But when you're popping a monster on the field, it doesn't really matter. You can pop those monsters and get them out of the way. So the next synchro, I believe everybody's gonna be like, oh, this deck is cancer, this deck is so bad. But you have to remember that in the case of Amazonas having a similar card to this, their back row is usually what makes the card actually bananas, not really the card itself. And it is Gusto Sprees. I had to use this rarity. It is beautiful. This takes 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner Gusto monsters. Is a level 6 synchro, which easily can be done by Pilica, especially summoning the level 3 from the graveyard. As I said before, they all float into each other. It's amazing. This card, when this card is synchro summoned, you can target 1 Gusto card in your graveyard. Gusto card, which means you can get the spells and the traps back, as well as a monster. You add it back to your hand. Fantastic. When this card, no wait, not when this card, sorry about that. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from that involves battles involving a Gusto monster, face-up Gusto monster on the field, which turns all of your Gusto monsters into Amazonas Swordswoman, dude. And with the low attack tuners that float into each other, you can just keep slamming your opponent with tuners. Just keep, and they float, and then just keep hitting them and they float. You go into Thunbow and it floats in the end phase, so not really, don't go into Thunbow. You can just keep doing that and then attack with Sprees, which has a respectable 2000 attack, and even more respectable, its last line in its effect says this card cannot be destroyed by battle, just like Amazonas Queen. Now it doesn't mean all your other Gusto monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. They can, but they're also Amazonas Swordswomen on the field. But this deck does not have an onslaught, so you're slamming your opponent for big damage. And if you don't have this card right here, hold on, let me show you guys, Duskarma Gusto, they can still activate their back row, they still have their monster on the field, and Amazonas can easily get rid of the monsters through onslaught with this effect. They'll just onslaught and banish all the monsters if they can keep special summoning. That's what, if we had village and onslaught, it'd be nuts. But this card just gives you the damage part. So I think the Gustos would be fairly workable. They'll be really balanced in a sense, because yeah, you can dish big damage, but your opponent can still react to it if you're not running this trap, or if you're not running anything. Like if they flip Gusto Sprees face down, what are you gonna do with Canadia, or Floodgate? What are you gonna do? So there's stuff like that, and it could still be destroyed by a treacherous trap hole. So I think that these cards would complete Gusto in this game. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. What other Gusto cards do Gustos need? Hey, what generic synchros do Gustos need? Let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. It's a wrap.